Hello, I'm Andrew, and this is my Series 3 of the weekly podcasts 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. These podcasts build confidence and know-how. Consequently, they can help you achieve happiness at work. By the way, that's also the title of my book, available at Amazon and from the book's website, My Happiness at Work. Now for today's episode in Series 3. This is episode 18 in 50 Ways to Succeed at Work, Series 3. Today's episode is about sabotage or support, the hidden powers of compassion and empathy. Paul Polman, the former CEO of the company Unilever, explained, "If I led with empathy, I'd never be able to make a single decision. Why? Because with empathy, I mirror the emotions of others, which makes it impossible to consider the greater good." Even without a formal leadership role, your hidden power of empathy can have many benefits. But, as Polman warns, this ability comes loaded with potential challenges. Your natural human talent for kindness and compassion is more crucial than ever in a world that often feels divided and disconnected. So how can you tap into this hidden power within each of us? First, consider some real-life examples and how they might help you build your career at work. And I'll explain some practical steps you can take to access and apply this hidden power. In a team meeting, a colleague explodes with frustration about a project setback. You actively listen without interrupting and acknowledge their feelings. You might say, "I understand how challenging this must be for you." By using empathy, you show understanding. You also support the person's emotions without offering solutions. This kind of input can have a profound effect, not only on the individual concerned, but on the rest of your colleagues and even yourself. In another team meeting, one of your team colleagues reveals that he's experiencing marital difficulties. The more he talks, the more you realize that he's overwhelmed by these issues. Reacting to this information, you express concern and reassure this colleague that seeking help is all right, it's okay. While showing empathy, you also convey compassion by suggesting a course of action. Compassion therefore goes beyond empathic understanding to actively showing care. In both the two work scenarios I've described, your reactions show the team that you're sensitive and it shares your caring side. Your compassion and desire to make a difference make you someone others see as attractive and essential to them too. This way, you build relationships at the heart of a successful career. So why do empathy and compassion matter? Well, empathy is about understanding emotions and perspective. Compassion takes empathy further by actively supporting and alleviating suffering. Both help create a positive work environment and foster cooperation amongst co-workers. So empathy and compassion are not just abstract concepts. They're powerful tools that can transform our lives and the lives of those around us. Empathy is an umbrella term for how you might respond to other people's emotions. It comes in 3 distinct flavors. Cognitive empathy involves understanding someone else's feelings and perspective. Imagine deciphering your friend's emotions during a tearful phone call. Emotional empathy occurs when you share another person's emotional experience. For example, when your colleague cries, you might feel a pang of sadness yourself. Empathic concern or compassion goes beyond understanding and feeling. It compels you to care about someone's well-being and wish for improvement. Empathy isn't just a selfless act. It benefits both you and the receiver. People who experience empathy tend to be less stressed. They're happier and more successful in various aspects of life. So how can you develop this hidden skill? There are 5 basic steps to using and developing empathy and compassion. First, listen actively. For example, when someone shares feelings, truly listen. Resist distractions. Maintain eye contact and show genuine interest. Active listening builds bridges of understanding. Second, walk in their shoes. You can practice cognitive empathy by imagining yourself in someone else's situation. How would you feel if you were in their shoes? This mental exercise fosters compassion. Third, learn from stories. Real-life case examples can be influential teachers. Read memoirs, watch documentaries, or listen to podcasts that reveal human struggles and triumphs. These stories can help you expand your natural empathy. And fourth, use technology with intent. Our phones connect us globally, but can also isolate us. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, use technology to foster human connection. Reach out to friends, engage in meaningful conversation, spread kindness, and meet face to face. Fifth, practice loving kindness. You can do this in various ways, such as by meditation. This is not a form of religion, it's the ancient practice of directing love and compassion towards yourself and others. Empathy and compassion are not elusive traits reserved for saints. They're powerful relationship skills that you can nurture and apply in your work situation. Well, what about the downside of this hidden power? While empathy is essential, it's okay to set boundaries. We don't owe empathy to those who actively harm us or others. Sometimes justice and compassion may conflict, and that's okay too. While empathy can guide you to do what's right, it may also encourage you to do what's wrong. As Paul Polman, former CEO of Unilever, quoted earlier, as he suggests, it can distort our perceptions. For example, empathy may cloud your judgment. It can encourage bias and make you less effective at making wise decisions. However, without empathy, let alone compassion, you're like an engine without a spark plug. You won't engage. Empathy is essential for that spark of connection. When you leverage that spark, you reach beyond empathy to show compassion. And my final thoughts on all of this? Well, tap into the power of empathy and compassion to help build relationships at work. Try to become good at active listening. That's when you listen without distraction. You don't interrupt. You repeat their experiences. You ask more questions about people's situation to understand them better and imagine what it's like to be them. Practice using empathic statements, such as, "You did your best. I understand this was difficult for you. It feels hard because it is hard. Everyone makes mistakes. I can't imagine your feelings, but I would like to listen." And finally, of course, what do you need? You've been listening to an episode of Series 3 of my weekly podcast, 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. You can hear the other podcasts at the 50ways.site, that's 50.site. There are nearly 100 titles and you can search for any issue that interests you. If you have any questions, you can always drop me a line from there. Also, check out my book, Happiness at Work. It's packed with great stories, compelling advice and suggestions for tackling real issues that you can encounter at work. It's at Amazon or at the book's website, myhappinessatwork.com. There's also an audio version if you prefer listening. Join me next week for another unmissable episode in Series 3. Bye for now.